Hey, what's going on? Dakota Harp here with Harp Talks. Today we're going to be talking about real quickly how engineering firms can use video production and video marketing to not only increase their scope of influence, but to reach new customers who they otherwise would never have found. Let's talk about it. So whenever I work with engineering firms or whenever I work with engineers, I usually hear the same thing right out of the gate. It's that, we're B2B, we're working with industries, we're working with these people. Video marketing, commercial marketing, the typical route of way things normally go for businesses does not work for us. And the truth of the matter is you're 150% correct. Yes, you're right. I can't just grab your engineering firm, slap it on a billboard, and people will start calling you. That's just not the way it works. I mean, it might work like that sometimes, but by and large, there's a much larger process at work for the way that industries select their vendors. They work with contractors. That whole process is extremely complicated, and if you're not in the engineering field, then you don't need to know about it. And if you are in the engineering field, then you already know about it, and I don't need to get into it. So it's a very complicated process a lot of times. So how do you market then to an industry that is so exclusive already that they need to essentially know you as a whole before you can even walk in their door and start selling them on anything? And the answer is video marketing. I mean, I know I'm biased, but that's the answer here. So what we're going to be talking about today is the different ways that you can use video marketing to within your business, not only on the inside, but on the outside from a marketing perspective, to reach new clients who you otherwise might not have been able to target through different non-traditional forms of media and non-traditional forms of content. So the first thing that I want to go over is just a list of different types of content that I've done for engineering firms and also for a lot of construction businesses and contractors alike. So the first thing that you can do is project recaps. These are gold. Many of you out there already have project recaps on your website where you are giving perspective on whatever, the challenges you faced, how you overcame them, and it makes you look really good to potential clients on your website. Now, engineers sometimes do like to read those things, but a lot of times people in procurement and other engineers, maybe they don't want to read a really long report. Maybe they want a really good looking video. Maybe they want a video that has interviews on it, really clean looking interviews that are easy to understand. They're concise. They've been edited down and distilled for a viewer. And then those interviews coupled with some really high quality looking B-roll are really going to draw in the attention of potential clients. Whenever they see that on your website or even on your social profiles or a couple of other mediums that you can use to reach out to those customers, such as email marketing and a bunch of other things like that. And when they see that, they're going to immediately be drawn to your work, as opposed to the millions of other firms out there that just have the same written stuff on there. Now, it may seem like nothing whenever you're like, oh, we're talking about the difference between a couple of words and a couple of videos. What's the big deal? When you visually engage your audience where they've already gone to meet you, so this potential client has gone to meet you on your website, and they're now looking for ways to engage with you. They want meaningful engagement. You got to think of it, like if time is money and they have $5 in their pocket, where do you want them to spend that $5? Would you rather them spend $1 here and read a couple of sentences and then spend $1 here and read a couple other sentences? Or would you rather them spend the whole $5 on this one incredible project and really have a deep, intense understanding of your problem-solving skills in that particular situation? So it's food for thought, but that's the first go-to that I usually do. I go, what are some of the best projects that you've taken on over the last year, and how can we highlight those to your potential client? Mini documentaries kind of along the same lines. You could highlight your workflow, how you work as a business, again, how you overcome challenges, different and new and emerging technologies that you're using. These are all great things to highlight in these videos that you can put in different spots of your website. You can also use them on social media and a bunch of other different platforms, but I prefer to throw these on the website because I find that's where most of these procurement people go. There's a couple other places, but that's the biggest one. The next one is testimonials. It is great to hear from your clients. Now, obviously, there are some clients who don't want to talk on camera. There's some who can't talk on camera, but there are a lot of ways that we can take those words and we can turn them around into a client testimonial. So you'll find a lot of times on legal commercials, maybe they don't want to put the actual client who won a giant settlement on TV. Maybe that client doesn't want to be on TV. They won $5 million. They don't want their family knowing they have $5 million for whatever reason. So a lot of times they'll take that testimonial, they'll change the name, they'll say real testimonial, hired actor, and so you could take that and you could spin that into a engineering video where you say, you have client A over here, and client A says, hey, we had these cooling towers put in, and we had these, we had new safety whatevers done, and it was a great time, and we love this company we work with, this engineering firm. And then you can put at the bottom, hired spokesperson, real review. But obviously you need to be careful with those because sometimes there may be something proprietary that that client doesn't want you sharing. Maybe there's some kind of NDA, anything you signed. So that's where, having somebody in video production coincides with having somebody in the engineering world. So it's good to have both of those things. Safety and compliance. These are really good ones. If you have workers that you are working with, and you've got safety stuff you want to be in circulation around your office or anything like that, having safety videos or having a safety module that your workers can go through is going to be pivotal in being able to ensure not only the completion of that information, but also the retention. As far as compliance goes, it follows the same route there, making sure that not only the videos you do make are in compliance, but that you're in compliance across the different industries you work in. Having those in a video format where you can reference them and also enhance the viewer information retention is going to be awesome for your business. Trainings kind of follow along that same line. A lot of you guys, you do continuing trainings, any type of continuing education type of stuff. All of those things can be far enhanced with video production, having a nice production or a video marketing company on hand, because we can take those things and we can, again, same as before, make them palatable, distill them down, get the core pieces of information, make sure that it's consistent. So, you're not going from one trainer to the next. You get one trainer to do the seminar one time, and you can reuse that over and over and over again. The information is the same, and then you just have to go back and update it if anything changes. The other thing is that you can take segments of that and you can use them. And if you're doing a newsletter with any of your current clientele, or if you have social media profiles, that's a great thing to share, that you were, hey, we are staying up on our knowledge. We're with the times. We know what's going on. We're not just, sitting behind our desk. We are active in this industry, and we are continuing to breach new frontiers, break over new horizons. So those are great things to keep in mind. The obvious answer within the list here is marketing and advertising. For the most part, a lot of engineering firms are doing B2B, but even B2B along with B2C, there are a lot of different facets of usage here where you can use marketing and advertising to grow your business. Brand awareness is key in any industry, regardless of what you're doing, whether it's B2B, B2C, you have to get your name out there. And video marketing just it's the best way to do it. Making something that's memorable, eye-catching, information retention. There have been studies done time again that show that information retention is far greater with video content whenever you're talking about a consumer. So, you could do a billboard and somebody may see it. You could take out an advertisement in a local magazine or a local paper. Yeah, you're free to do that. You can even advertise in industry publications that, and you may get put in front of the right person. Those are all great things, and those are great for reinforcing your brand. But as a whole, you have to establish to that potential client who you are. And so if I was pitching an engineering firm on a couple of videos I might do for them, the number one thing is going to be a brand video. We did one for a engineering firm here in town just recently, and this video encompassed so much stuff. We included past projects. We included key members of staff. We used VFX to showcase their multiple locations across the globe. We did all kinds of really cool stuff with that. So literally the sky's the limit on what you can do with a brand video, but I think it's really good to highlight a lot of things internally that you're doing that may be different from other people. It's also good to highlight, your work-life balance, especially when it comes to recruiting time. It'll be good to have those kinds of things in hand. But really, you just want to showcase the things that make you different. And it's really hard to do that, even with graphic content or photography or any kind of still medium. You could kind of do it in articles, if you're doing blog posts or articles, or even email lists, but that's completely dependent on how engaged your audience is. And with email marketing, it's even more dependent on your open rate, which if you're not tracking that, you should be. And the last thing I think you could probably use video marketing for in this industry is going to be recruiting. It's going to be killer to have some awesome recruiting videos for potential employees. So I think where I am right now, I know there's at least 5, 6, reasonably sized engineering firms that are working on it. There's so many. They're everywhere. But they all go to the McNeese career fair. They all have booths set up there, and they're always getting employees. And I've been a few times because I didn't know what it was and that it was going to be majority engineering firms there. But I've been a few times because I always wanted to look and see what was there. And man, those booths are pretty boring. I mean, they're these great lavish setups, but there's nothing to separate one from the other. And I just walk by and I'm like, I think every time, like, man, if these people had a video that told people what they are all about, it might be a little bit easier to get some people at these shows, get them engaged and interested in working with you. But those are the main reasons that you would seek out a video company, preferably mine, to work with your business. It's a lot of people have this perception that the more background you become, the more niche you become, the more B2B you become, the less of a role video marketing has to play or video production has to play. And that's just so far from the truth that we just went over a nice long list of options of things you can do within the scope of your industry. So if you have any more questions or would like to reach out and discuss some of the options that we can do for your business, go ahead and reach out to me, Dakota@harpfilms.com, or visit us on social media. You can find our profiles at Harp Films, or just reach out to us on our website, harpfilms.com. Fill out the contact form. Love to get in touch with you and see what we can do for you. And if anything, we can just chit chat about what you got going on right now in your business, and I can start pointing you in the right direction. So looking forward to talking with you and looking forward to the next episode, sharing that with you soon.